I'm Rena Alexander, and I'm the Client Relations Specialist for DoveLewis.
And I'm Laird. I'm the Brand Marketing Specialist with DoveLewis. So COVID has changed many things for us. We've had higher patient counts, much longer wait times, and unfortunately this has also led to a lot more negative feedback from our clients. Unfortunately, they have turned to social media sites and review sites due to them waiting in their cars or waiting at home, so it's given them plenty of time to tell us what they have been most frustrated with. And so as we ease back into our new normal, we wanted to discuss one scenario of a recent review that we've had.
So the review says, do not take your pet here, do not take your pet here, do not take your pet here. The worst animal hospital I've come across. If your pet isn't critical, they won't prioritize the condition. My pet waited for over 18 plus hours to be seen by the vet. It's like my pet can have some serious problems and be miserable and they won't do anything.
Now, as with any negative review, it is very difficult to read and often very long and hard to get through. So our first step is to actually take a step back before responding. The worst thing that you can do is actually respond in anger or defensively. So in these scenarios, if I'm having a tough time with responding to a review, I actually reach out to Rena or another client experience team member in order to get another perspective on this, on how to respond. Or as we talk about later, when there's certain scenarios where there's trigger words or topics that are being brought up, I actually reach out to Rena in order to have this progress offline first before actually responding online. For the next step, what I typically do is actually reread the review to find the key words or topics that were the biggest area of frustration for them. In this case, it was actually about wait times and feeling like their pet was not a priority for us. Other topics have also included the quality of care that they think their pet received, as well as communication or lack of updates that they wanted, and pricing. So once you have these key areas of frustration that the reviewer has been focused on, you're then going to start drafting the response. And your goal here is to keep it brief, talk about an avenue to take it offline if they want to discuss their concerns further, and empathize with their frustrations and stress. When drafting your review, it's also important to educate clients about the situation going on in your hospital. During COVID, many pet owners simply did not know the increase in demand for veterinary care that was going on, as well as our hiring shortage that we already had within the industry being exacerbated by the pandemic. So this is a great opportunity to share these insights with them, to give them kind of an open door to what is going on within your practice.
So with this response here from Molly, there are a couple of lines with an asterisk next to them, and those are some areas where you could actually insert your own wording to tailor everything to your own practice. And it states, "We are sorry that you had a negative experience with us. However, we never want our clients to leave, so we apologize that this was not communicated with you and are taking your feedback seriously. If you have time to discuss your experience in greater detail, please call us. Thank you again for sharing your thoughts."
In this review's case, we responded by saying that we had a 20% increase in our patient counts throughout the pandemic. As well as being a 24/7 emergency room hospital, we triage the most critical patients first before those that are deemed stable, which in this case, their pet was. We also included in our response that we empathize with the situation of waiting at home or in your car away from your pet when they're sick or injured. And we want to let them know that our team is constantly monitoring their pet and ensuring that they're comfortable throughout their stay, even if they're not being examined yet by a veterinarian. Finally, to help ensure that clients don't continue to reach out online angrily, we give them an avenue to reach out to our client experience team or Rena in order to help them discuss their concerns further offline.
So as Molly pointed out, we do like to give our reviewers an opportunity to communicate offline if possible. And also, as Molly pointed out, sometimes these reviews will mention something about legal action or possible medical errors, and that is where I come in. I take that opportunity to take the review and go to our medical team and look into the situation a little bit further before Molly responds. That way we're not getting ourselves in any trouble. We have everybody on the same page, just in case maybe there's already been some contact from that client or legal representative. That's the first best step for us. And after that, I come back to Molly with more information from the medical chart, from the medical team, so that she has a good answer to come back with online. Depending on the tone of the review, I might think that it's an appropriate time for that client to fill out our client grievance form. That is our first step in the complaint process and the first step in our medical review process as well.
And if you want to learn more about our client grievance form, you can watch Handling Clients When They've Gone Too Far. And this gives you an actual case that we walk through about how to handle these situations using the client grievance form.